I want you to imagine for a second that it's 2005. Sega have jumped out of the console business, but we're still hitting strong with some great multi-platform games like Billy Hatcher, Super Monkey Ball, and Sonic Heroes. You'd think that Sega's looking good for the next while, and then the trailer for the next Sonic game comes out, and it looks like this. You think it's an early April Fool's joke, but no. This is the direction for the next Sonic the Hedgehog game, Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm gonna come right out the gate and say this is my least favourite game of all time. Are there worse games out there? Objectively, yes. But this is the one I like the least. I cannot find a single redeeming quality about this other than, well, we'll get there when we get there. I mean, to begin with, let's start with the plot, and, yeah, there kind of isn't any plot here. The synopsis is that aliens come down to Earth, Shadow, still having amnesia, says, well, I better find those 7 Chaos Emeralds to figure out my past. And so, he gets the Chaos Emeralds to figure out more about his past. That's it. Yeah, the story doesn't fucking matter. And the reason I say that is because there's 10 endings. But not every ending can be canon. So maybe it's the hero's ending that's canon. But the hero ending kinda is canon, but it kinda isn't, because elements of each story are brought in. And that's not even to go into how the story's a fucking nightmare to begin with of continuity issues. In truth, I don't mind Shadow being half alien. I'm a massive Ben 10 fan that this was never going to hurt me. In reality, having Shadow's DNA come from a creature just called, checks notes, Black Doom, isn't exactly the best impression you want to throw on someone. Like, I'm not gonna stand here and say, oh, they had an agenda with this one. But when the main oppositions are called the Black Arms, you got Black Doom as the leader, they're known as the Black Creatures, and Shadow even says,
disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight.
I've gotta wonder if Izuka had some kind of prejudice he was going on here with, and yeah, that's another thing. This game was written by Shigeru Miyakawa, who, if you don't know, was the writer of Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. He was the one who created Shadow and gave Shadow the amnesia plotline. Now, the reason he didn't like this game is either one of two options. One, he saw the idea of taking Sonic characters, putting them in a gritty world, and giving a 3'3", black and red anthropomorphic hedgehog a gun, and went, nah, you guys can deal with this, I'm not doing this. Or B, he was busy writing for the next game. But given that game had like a year of development, I don't know about that one. Okay, so the plot's a fucking disaster where nothing is canon, everybody's written horribly out of character, the translation is fucking horrendous.
What's up, Shadow?
Not you again.
Nice to see you too. Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
And there are 10 endings, none of them meaning anything. What about the last story segment? Things happen there, right? Yeah, things do happen there. We're on board the Ark, out of nowhere. Shadow has the 7 Chaos Emeralds. How? Fuck you. Everybody else gets on board the Ark. How? Fuck you. Then Black Doom shoots off some toxin that freezes everybody. And then Shadow breaks free through willpower? He goes, takes down Black Doom using Super Shadow, teleports the Black Comet into space, which is like the big central thing that the game revolves around. He blows it up, and then never turn back, please. There's really just not much to say on this front. And what doesn't help is that, again, nobody's written in character. Shadow's this edgy emo lord who doesn't even seem to give a fuck that he has friends. Sonic is just some asshole. Commander Towers, who doesn't even get a name in this game, is just kinda some asshole. And Black Doom is the worst written villain in the series. Cause while say Infinite might be bad, he's at least a funny kind of bad. Black Doom is just Goku trying to put on a non-Goku voice. Black Doom? Who is this guy? He shows up out of nowhere and is just forgotten about as quickly. The Black Arms weren't even mentioned again until Sonic Frontiers. But in that game, they were referencing everything, including the genie birds. So I don't count that as like, oh, we're making this big statement that you need to play Shadow to understand everything. And the story of this game dealt more blows than it did, wins. As this game is the #1 catalyst for why Shadow was portrayed as some emo edgelord throughout the 2010s. Hell, I'm willing to bet this exact game is the reason the Sonic franchise is the way it is. I know 06 probably had the bigger effect, but Shadow showed a lot of the flaws that were starting to develop in the Foundation. Because Takashi Iizuka is the writer of the game, but he's also the head of Sonic Team. And he doesn't know how to write these characters. He doesn't really know what makes these characters tick. And that should concern you when he's the head of the company, when he's the head of Sonic Team, not company. So, what about the gameplay? Could the gameplay save it? No, this is the worst playing Sonic game ever. I know it isn't a mainline game technically, but it's a mainline game. It was the big Sonic Team game of that year. And what really bugs me about this is that it's one of the most polished Sonic games, which isn't great considering the gameplay's kinda shit. What I mean by it's polished is that the game doesn't have you falling through floors every 5 seconds. But that doesn't matter because the gameplay is just not fun. What you have here is essentially a speed character from Sonic Heroes given a gun. Now, say what you want. I'd be fine with Shadow using weapons. It's not like it would be completely out of character for him. The problem is the kinds of weapons he's using. He's using realistic guns most of the time. And it's like, why? If you're gonna give Shadow weapons, why not make them some wacky ass shit? Or hell, maybe make some Eggman weapons that he gets to use and he can cycle between. But this game doesn't do that. And that's not even to mention the controls. Oh god, the controls. When I said this was the speed characters from Sonic Heroes, I meant it. But the problem this time is that A, the acceleration is even faster, meaning good luck turning, you little shit. Another problem with it is that Shadow just, like, if you try and jump, you're gonna feel it, like, just how clunky it is. I know a lot of people complain about Sonic Frontiers for having the momentum killing jump, but this game did it first, so clearly it was just a callback. In all seriousness, Shadow has a ton of moves in this game he doesn't even need. Like, he has the spin dash, but you have to stand still to do it, which defeats a lot of the appeal of the spin dash. The light speed dash is here and given its own button, for like the only time in the franchise outside of the two other times it appears after this game, 06 Generations and Frontier, so it's 3 times, my bad. Okay, so we've gone about the gameplay, we've gone about the story. Can the music do anything to save it? Kinda. I mean, some of the level themes and tracks in this game are great. They just have this heavy problem of reusing assets. And I mean, that would probably be fine. Like, I get it. You have to make 10 endings or like 25 stages or whatever, so reusing assets is a must. And I'm glad that most of the levels that reuse assets are on different paths, so you're not likely to come across them unless you deliberately try to do so. The problem is that some of them are just so generic. Like, City, Sky Temple, Cyberspace. No, the other Cyberspace. And this game, man, it drains me to talk about. I am not having fun doing this. But that being said, there are still the theme songs, of which there's the good and the bad. Like, some of the bad includes Almost Dead. Guys, I think he's almost dead. And then Chosen One, which comes right after this scene. I'll just play the scene and then put the music directly after.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there! Yet, things may not be what they seem. You could be.
Yeah, Vector just goes, "Don't go there yet," saying, "Hey, don't kill yourself yet." And then we get Chosen One talking about how he should never been born, and it's like, what the fuck? I guess that also brings up the topic of the character voices. Look, the 4Kids era voice actors were not given great material while they were around. Realistically, I think the 4Kids actors had a ton of potential, but were ultimately squandered by the fact that out of the 5 main games they were in, the only ones where the script was actually good were Unleashed and Black Knight, the 2 last games they ever did. And don't get me wrong, I like these actors. I just prefer the Adventure era ones. But that doesn't mean I want to see them all replaced. Like Mike Pollock, I'm glad he stuck around, and I'm really glad that they kept him around even when they thought they were getting rid of everyone else. Because Mike Pollock has become Eggman. The man even left a union to keep playing Eggman. Stupid decision, but I'm glad he did. Anyway, back with the theme songs. You know, like I said, you got some mediocre ones, but I'm not gonna get into them. And with that being said, like, I really do like some of these. I think Waking Up has the potential to be Omega's theme song, like, permanently, because A, it's in the only ending where the fucker shows up, and B, I mean, it's in the same style as, the Heroes theme song for Team Dark, which is awesome. All Hail Shadow would go on to become Shadow's definitive theme song.
Tragedies and everything that comes our way. Determination of the strong. Found the meaning that you searched for so long.
I Am is a fucking fever dream, and I have no idea why this is a thing. But hey, it's the theme song of the game. It would be really weird if I forgot about it and had to put this in during editing.
And I think Never Turn Back is the perfect epitome of where Shadow's character arc should have gone.
Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Should have been a story about him wanting to discover his past, but the more he finds out, he realizes he doesn't like. And so by the end of the game, he decides that he's gonna put the past behind him, he's never gonna turn back, but instead he's gonna keep moving forward. But instead, what we get is a game confused on what the hell it wants to be. Does it want to be the next Sonic Adventure game? Does it want to be Jak 2? Does it want to be a Shadow game? It doesn't know. This game is a confused mess. It is the identity crisis, the biggest reason that a ton of things would happen. And you know, it's worse than that. Because this would go on to affect the next game, Sonic 06. I have a massive, massive soft spot for that game, so I'm not going to be that harsh on it. And you know, if you've seen the Omniverse 2 review, I can be as harsh as I want on a game when I want to. But ultimately speaking, this game just... it was a confused mess. It was made at the wrong time. I feel like an action game focused on Shadow could have done really, really good. If they had just got a team who knew how the fuck to do that, to deal with it. Like, imagine if this game had taken inspiration from, say, Devil May Cry or something. I think that would have been awesome. Imagine we're talking about this Shadow game that has this deep, integral combat. But instead, we're talking about the funny, goofy R game where Shadow runs around on roller skates, screaming about needing to find Maria, shooting everyone up, killing Sonic, and Vets is going, "Don't go there! Yet!" It's... Look, this game isn't worth your attention. It isn't worth... This game isn't worth anything. This game should have never been born at all. And with that being said, I am so glad to have done this game. I don't think I'm going to be returning to it for a while if I ever do. And that's not even to mention the fact that the Xbox 360 version I'm playing has technical issues where the game crashes. It crashed a lot on me, but only when loading. Some issue with renderware, I think it is, and how... I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to know. And until next time, take care, guys. Stay away from bullshit like this, and just take care. Goodbye.